Quick announcement, ladies and gentlemen. We are T-minus 5 minutes away from showtime. If you are a junior exhibitor and you're towards the start of the show, please make your way to the marshalling area. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stettler, Alberta. I'm Ty Wilson. On behalf of my partner Thomas, we join you from the Immortals. As we roll into our junior division, we'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you our esteemed panel of judges. Gentlemen, if you'd like to make your way to the ring, I'll just pop through anywhere there. Mr. Craig Flew Elling, legend in the polled Hereford breed. They've got a family operation still very involved. And cattle are for sale at all times of year. Just popped by. It's private treaty right off the farm. Craig, famously, I believe, the first Hereford, Craig, to ever win the Supreme at Agribition. Is that correct? It's not. It may have been the best one. From Saskatchewan, Mr. Barry Hall of Hall's Angus with their two children, Justin and Megan, and the grandkids, Haley and Riley. They had a bull sale at the end of March with Risk and Hope right on the farm at Craig, Saskatchewan. And, of course, you can see them in Regina at Agribition. Rounding us up will be Mr. Darren Ippolito of Moose Creek Red Angus from Kisby, Saskatchewan. alongside his partner Kylie and their 3 children, Darren ranches with parents Glenn and Donna, who founded Moose Creek over 50 years ago. They built one of the most influential red Angus cow herds in the continent, Thomas. I was going to say the country, but the continent. Their genetics have shaped programs, and their reputation has been earned the hard way through decades of honest, customer-first breeding. This December 22nd and 23rd, Moose Creek Red Angus will host their complete herd dispersal at the ranch, and you will have an opportunity to acquire genetics from a program that has defined consistency, longevity, and trust for generations.
Well, I don't know about you, Ty, but my goodness, a seasoned and fantastic group of judges. I don't know if there'd be a better group of judges out there throughout the whole fall show cycle. So let's give it a big round of applause for our fantastic judges who will be judging all weekend, correct?
All weekend, Tommy.
All night long.
And we welcome to the ring our first class of juniors. Ringman Dale Marshall's ready for us. Here is Wrigley Dietrich with Red Rich Haley, 183N. We're going to run this show from youngest animals to oldest. Wrigley's heifer is a March 18th. Followed by Nevada Murray of Murray's Ranches with Murray's Design, 153N. February 15th birthday on Murray's Design. Here is Tell Harvey from Harvey Crest with Harvey Crest Cream Soda, his February 6th heifer. Entry number 53 from Matty Ferentz, LFEBS Sunshine, a February 2nd heifer. And Samantha Boak rounding up our class with Alta Cedar 100W Rita 1N, her February 2nd entry.
Throughout the weekend, if I'm not mistaken, in our junior show as well as 3-on-B, heifer and bull classes, we are going to be placing a top 2. They will advance into our championship classes, and so we'll be looking for our top 2 here in our youngest junior heifer class, and so for our judges, their class is complete.
But Tommy, it gets better than that, because each of those top 2 from the juniors will go home with a $100 gift certificate from our friends at the Pet Pad. Tommy, this junior heifer show is powered by the Stettler Ag Society. And also, from day one, the Stettler Auction Mart, Central Alberta Egg Supply, and Bullseye Feeds, dedicated supporters of the next generation of cattle producers. And you know what? We had a really, really cool development here today. Diamond T Land and Livestock called us up and said, hey, we want to support the future. We want to be a part of it. We're going to give you guys 3 $500 sale credits to put towards the junior program. An incredible sponsorship from an incredible group of sponsors. Thank you all. All right, Tommy, the proud new owner of a $100 gift certificate from the Pet Pad. Moving on in no particular order. Entries 53 from Matty Ferentz, LFE BS Sunshine, and entry 51, Nevada Murray with a Murray's Design. Will be joining us back for our championship class in just a little while. Rolling on, Thomas. Here's class number 2. Kicking us off, entry 55, Rio Noble with RNR Darlin 40N, January 26th heifer. Followed by entry 56 from Erica Zimmer with Bar Slide and Style 5007N, a January 22nd heifer. Third into the ring, entry 57, Lexi Dietrich with Red Rich Firefly 74N, January 22. In the fourth hole, here's entry 58 from Resh Noble, R&R Sheila 23N, his January 16th heifer. Entry 59 by way of Casey Adams, Red Terron Renee, and 43N. January 16th birth date from Red Terron Renee. And rounding up our class, entry 60, Luke Henderson with LLB Oakleaf 341N, his January 15th heifer. Tommy, I always take for granted that everybody knows the scoop here at the Immortals, being as I think it's the best cattle show in the world. But Heartland Marine and Motorsports, tremendous supporters of ours in the Stettler Ag Society, have teamed up to put up 2 Polaris side-by-sides to go to the overall champion heifer and champion bull calf, which will be rewarded tomorrow. Now, a lot of folks just assume the juniors are their separate show. No, sir. They will, in fact, advance to our show tomorrow. So, whoever comes out of this right now will vie for, not a lease, Thomas, to keep a brand new Polaris Ranger from our friends at Heartland Marine and Motorsports.
Yeah, fantastic sponsorship with Heartland. Blood, sweat, and tears and making the best effort to have the full calf out here. Getting that full time is fantastic. So thank you again for that sponsor. Now I have a skill testing question for you. If a junior animal leaves here, are they not allowed to show during the main show, or are they going to, could they possibly double qualify?
Feeding back there, bud. Take some gain off. Yeah, no, that's right, Thomas. If they come through the junior show, obviously they've already qualified, so they won't be showing in their breed show. That's why the juniors show first. And I got to tell you, when we started this show some 5 years ago, you know, we thought, wouldn't it be cool to go toe-to-toe with the farm fairs and the agribitions of the world by awarding just a tremendous prize? And, I mean, usually, you know, it's Dodge, Case, Future Ag, these giant supporters. And we went and visited Heartland Marine and Motorsports. I mean, what other answer would we expect other than, you guys are crazy, get out of my office? And when they told us, yes, we will roll with you guys, we'll put up 2 Polaris Ranger side-by-sides, we couldn't believe it. And we said, well, hey, now we got to put on a show that's befitting of such a tremendous prize and a tremendous sponsor. And here we are 5 years later. Go see what they need help with the stall. Yeah. Erica Zimmer, great news. You are going to be the recipient of a $500 sale credit from our friends down at Diamond Tea. Tremendous prize. Thank you to Diamond Tea. And Erica, when you get a chance, come on up and collect your prize.
Yes, a big thank you to Brody and Justine, as well as the rest of the Gardner family, for that great sponsorship.
All right, Thomas, advancing on in no particular order. Entry 59 from Casey Adams, Red Terron Renee, and entry 60 from Luke Henderson with LLB Oakleaf. We'll see them back in our championship class. Congratulations, you guys.
Yes, big congratulations. Moving on again, Casey Adams and Luke Henderson. We'd also like to thank you for coming to entry 55, Rio Noble. Entry with RNR Darlin, 40N. Entry 56, Erica Zimmer with Bar Slide In Style, 5007N. Entry 57, Lexi Dietrich with Red Ridge Firefly, 74N. And entry 58, Resh Noble with the RNR Sheila, 23N. Good young juniors here again today.
Thomas, a reminder, the SAS. Oh. A reminder, Thomas, the SAS Saloon is open, as well as the coffee trailer up here makes tremendous lattes, guys. There's also a concession just through this overhead door. Rolling into our junior heifer class number 3. Here is entry 169 from Riley Charbonneau, KG Nora 130N. Entry 62 from Abby Rancier with RF Beauty 5102N. Both these first two heifers born January 11th. Stella Mater comes to us, entry 63 with Mater Rose 71N. Her heifer born on January 7th. And so is Garen Skeels, entry 64, TM Ladies Cherry Bomb 825N. Finishing our class, entry 65 from Paige Zimmer with Z-Bar Ruby 5001N and her January 6th heifer. All right, Tommy, moving on. Entry number 62 from Abby Rance here, RF Beauty 5102N, and entry number 63 from Stella Mater with Mater Rose 71N. Important to note, Tom, we're bringing them out in no particular order, so both these animals will have an equal shot to come back and win our championship.
We'd also like to thank entry 169, Riley Charbonneau with KG Nora 130N, entry 64, Garen Skeels with TM Ladies Cherry Bomb 825N, and entry 65, Paige Zimmer Z-Bar Ruby 5001N for bringing and exhibiting their animals here in our junior heifer class.
What was that?
Tommy, good news. Riley Charbonneau's not going away empty-handed. She's taking a $500 sale credit courtesy of Diamond T. Congratulations, Riley. Our final junior heifer class, entry 66, Shay Noble with Noble Eldarine 7N. These heifers all born January 6th to January 2nd. Here's entry 67 from Maddie Ferentz, LFEBS Mary 15N. Entry 68 from Wynn Henderson, LLB Lavender Lady 30N. Entry number 69 from Delta Hippie with Greenwood BFC Beauty 9N. And rounding up our class, entry 70, Cade Rance here with RF Beauty 534N. Thank you.
For what?
Just repeat after me. Thank you. Problem is my mic is feeding back so bad.
I don't.
Let's
let me try.
Okay.
Sorry.
Give her.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to come. I can.
So, Tommy, this portion of the show sponsored by Stettler Auction Market and Central Alberta Ag Supply and Bullseye Feeds and Diamond Tea, but it takes a whole bunch more than that to make the entire show run. And we want to thank our event sponsors, WES Enterprises, Bow Valley Genetics, who've been on since day one, Transcon Livestock, Alta Genetics, T-Bar C, OBI, The Associates Bull Sale, Mr. Gordon Jackson, Mr. Lynn Combest, J. Morandi Livestock and Mark Angus, DLMS, Bagshaw Electric, North Star Trucking, Bella Spur Creative, and Heartland Feedlot Services. When you look at this list, Thomas, what do you notice?
Well, you were mentioning that a lot of them have been here since the very beginning, but also just a lot of companies and people that are true paragons of our breed and great people in our community as well.
Well, and Bagshaw Electric, tremendous local business, North Star Trucking, same. Beyond that, all folks that come from the industry and continue to keep the industry running. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mine's fine. And so just a reminder to our previous winners here in the junior heifer calf classes that, or our previous advancers, that we will be going right into our championship class following the completion here of our heifer class, our fourth heifer class here.
Delta, congrats. You're taking home $500 sale credit. That's fine. This is for the sale credit. Give Paula a heart attack. Delta, you're taking home the $500 Diamond Tea sale credit. Congratulations. Come up here to the announce table at your convenience and grab that. All right, and Delta gets to advance on. Heck of a class for her. Greenwood BFC Beauty coming back to our championship, and so's entry 70 with Cade Rancier, RF Beauty 534N. Pair of January 2 heifers, Paula. Sometimes those 2 extra days of birth, Tommy, make all the difference in the world.
We'd also like to thank entry 66, Shay Noble with Noble Eldarine 7N. Entry 67, Maddie Ference, LFE BS Mary 15N. And entry 68, Wynn Henderson with LB Lavender Lady 30N for joining us in our final junior heifer class. Good job to a bunch of young ladies there joining us here and our junior show.
Looks like Dale Marshall is giving us the thumbs up. Dale, are we ready for a championship class? Boom, here is entry 51 from class 1. Oh, it's going to be entry 53 first. Maddie Ference with LFEBS Sunshine, her February 2nd heifer. followed by entry 51, Nevada Murray with Murray's Design 153N, her February 15th. From Class 2, entry 59, Casey Adams with Red Terron Renee 43N. And Luke Henderson's entry, number 60, LLB Oakleaf 341N. These heifers from January 16th and January 15th, respectively. Coming back from heifer class number 3, here's 62, Abby Rancer with RF Beauty 5102N. And entry 63 from Stella Mater, Mater Rose 71N. Those heifers born January 11th, January 7th. Rounded up our class, Thomas. Entry 69, Delta Hippie with Greenwood BFC Beauty 9N. And Cade Rancier with RF Beauty 534N. Both these heifers January 2nd, 2025.
So a fantastic class here of heifers here for our championship class. Again, a reminder, our champion junior heifer will automatically advance to the champion heifer class on championship Saturday, coming up here tomorrow afternoon. And yeah, as well, this is a representation of the next generation of fantastic breeders here for not only this show, but throughout all of Alberta and Canada, as the next generation of our great breeders here in the purebred industry. So great class, and it's going to be a tough one for our 3 judges, but your judges, your class is complete.
Tommy, the plot thickens. Usually at this show. There's kind of only one spot we care about. Well, in the juniors, it pays down 2 spots. So we do have to pick a champion and a reserve champion. Now, only the champion's going to come back to compete tomorrow for the side-by-side. But, Paula, what are we playing for the champion and reserve champion? We'll get back to you on that. Little fun fact for you, Tommy. I believe it was 2 years ago, Abby Rancier came through the junior portion of the show and then won the whole damn thing.
So a lot at stake is what you're telling me. So this is, again, great group of heifers and a great group of young individuals. So these could be your champions of the weekend.
Wait, did I have that right, Paula? Because Garth was showing it, but they had 2 in the championship for sure. I thought it was Abby's heifer. While Paula tabulates the scores, why don't we get a few notes from one of our panel, Thomas, to tell us what we're on the hunt for here today. Fellas, if you can, somebody can come and give us a few words, we would appreciate it. Hey, boys. The strong silent type. All right, I'll take a crack at it. I'm going to imagine some structural correctness, some power, some smoothness, functionality. Sound about right? Yep. Well, with that, somebody wants to come up and I'll tell you who's our champion so you can go slap her.
Are we doing comments or not?
I think I just did them. Yeah. Judge Barry Hall going to go and select our champion to advance to Supreme Saturday tomorrow. Be put into contention for a side-by-side. Thomas, hit the music. Nevada Murray and Murray's Design 153N. Barry going to go and select our reserve champion. Entry 69, Delta having quite a day with her entry. Greenwood BFC Beauty 9N. Congratulations, ladies. Hang around. We're going to grab a couple pictures with our judges before rolling into our main heifer program.
And again, one last reminder, Nevada Murray with Murray's Design 153N will be joining us for our championship and the chance to win a brand new side-by-side coming up Saturday afternoon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to roll on to our Black Angus portion of the heifer program. Oh, we've got a few minutes. Go ahead and get yourselves gathered. Use the washroom if you need to. We'll see you shortly.
I was literally about to ready.
2 minutes. All right, Thomas, we are ready to roll. Here is entry 121 from Murray Ranches, Murray Magnolia 122N, a February 7th birthday on her. From Riverside Angus, entry 122, Riverside Tibby, February 1st. From Westbrook Ventures, WBC Chloe 27N, January 18th birthday. From LLB Angus and Tim and Trish Henderson, here is LLB Oakleaf 341N, January 15th. And rounding up our class, Miller Wilson Angus with DMM Primrose 49N, January 12th birthday.
Just to reiterate there, we've got heifers from February 7th up to January 12th. And so for our 3 esteemed judges, your class is complete for your first heifer calf class here in the Black Angus division.
All right, Tommy, in the Angus, we had a bunch of people step up. For the first year, there is a bunch of added money for the individual breeds. And in this particular breed, we have Pyro Red Angus, Terron Farms, the Alberta Angus Association, Miller Wilson Angus, Greenwood Cattle, and Alberta Realty have stepped up for a total of $4,000, which means that there will be $1,000 each to the red and black heifers and $1,000 each to the red and black bull calf champions.
Yes, a big thank you to all of our Angus breeders for stepping up, both local and from far away, both for the red and black Angus divisions as well. So yes, lots of money available, and so thank you very much to all of our great sponsors in the Angus division.
All right, Tommy, coming back will be entry 120 from Westbrook Ventures, WBC Chloe 27N, and entry 119 from Miller Wilson Angus with DMM Primrose 49N.
Congratulations again to Westbrook Ventures and Miller Wilson Angus for advancing out of this first class of Black Angus heifer calves. We'd also like to thank Murray Ranches, Riverside Angus, and LB Angus, Tim and Trish Henderson, for joining us here in our first split of Black Angus heifer calves.
So, you want to know how I discovered this song? It was in the weirdest way possible. Well, not the weirdest way possible. So I get drunk with Little Brad when they were taking school in Vermillion when I was in like, and they had rock band. Mississippi Queen was one of the easier songs. We played Mississippi Queen all the time on rock band. I'd probably heard it before, but I never was aware of it. And we played it so many times, like, it's a banger.
Entry 124 to kick off Class 2 from Maxwell Simmentals. Here is Maxwell Beauty, 535N, a January 10th birth date on her. A second entry from Miller Wilson Angus with DMM Christina, 37N, born January 9th. Entry 126 from Double RN Ranching, Noble Elderine, 7N, January 6th heifer. Entry 127 coming in fourth to the class, Rosilvia Cattle Company and Sholigan Cattle with Rosilvia SC Miss Sexy 19N, January 3rd birth date. And last but not least, entry 128 from LLB Angus and Tim and Trish Henderson. Here is LLB Lavender Lady 30N, a January 2nd Black Angus heifer, Thomas.
So again, just to finish off there, January 10th, January 2nd here in our second split and final split of Black Angus heifer calves. And so our esteemed panel of judges, your class is complete.
We have a Charlotte class. We do. Like our perfect songs. Oh shoot, I gotta play something. We're gonna go poison because when the Charlotte class comes in, get me to play that funky music. Like, such a good set.
Thomas, the Stettler Agricultural Society is proudly powered by Future Ag, a valued partner whose year-round support keeps our facility running strong. From major events to everyday community programs, Future Ag's ongoing commitment helps us grow agriculture and community together in the heart of Stettler. Thank you, Future Ag. Tommy, moving on will be entry 126, Double RN Ranching and Noble Eldarine with entry 127, Resilvia Cattle Co. and Sholigan Cattle with Resilvia SC Miss Sexy. And this is going to be a banger of a championship class.
Yes, good. Congratulations to Double RN Ranching and Sylvia Cattle Company and Sholigan Cattle. As well, we'd like to thank Maxwell Seminoles, Miller Wilson Angus, and LB Angus for joining us in our second split here at Black Angus Heifer Calves.
Okay, what else do I got for a good championship? What do you think?
All right, welcoming back to contend for the $1,000 prize, courtesy of our great sponsors, Pyro Red Angus, Terron Farms, the Alberta Angus Association, Miller Wilson Angus, Greenwood Cattle, and Alberta Realty. Here is entry 120 from Westbrook Ventures, WBC Chloe 27N. Entry 119 from Miller Wilson Angus with DMM Primrose 49N from Class 2. Entry 126 from Double RN Ranching, Noble Eldarine, and entry 127 from Resilvia Cattle Co. and Sholigan Cattle, Resilvia SC Miss Sexy. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion Black Angus Heifer class. With that, we'll ask one of our judges to come over and go and select our champion. Mr. Craig Fluellen going to go out and slap a champion Black Angus heifer.
I guess we'll let this buck. Never mind.
Westbrook Ventures, welcome to the winner's circle with WBC Chloe 27N, punching her ticket to vie for a side-by-side tomorrow. $1,000 richer. Congratulations to Jordy and Luke and the gang. We'll go snap a quick picture, guys. It's going to allow everybody to have a minute to get to the washroom, grab themselves a drink from the SAS Saloon, and reconvene here for the Red Angus show in just a few moments. Paula, we've got our judges back. Let's roll into some Red Angus. Here is entry 129 from Red Ridge Farms.
Red. It's definitely red. I've always said red. Like That's what I thought.
Here is Red Rich, First Lady 301N with a great showman. And her heifer is born on February 23rd. Entry 130 from Harvey Crest Cattle Company and Gentry Harvey. Red Harvey Crest, Miss Fredo 5130N. February 3rd birthday. And rounding up our class will be entry 137 from Riverside Angus. Red Riverside Marta. February 2nd. Entry 1...
Which one are you? 137 or 138 is gone. Okay, no 138.
And 138 is a scratch. Red Riverside 509N is a healthy scratch.
So we've got 3 heifer calves here in our first class of Red Angus heifer calves, aging from February 23rd to February 2nd.
Tommy, if you're so inclined, we got a 50-50 tag raffle up here at the booth with Margie up at the SAS Saloon. So you grab yourself a couple tags and they're going to raffle it off and win yourself some cash. Or get your Jeep raffle tickets. It's a heck of a deal. You got them on sale there. Yes, you will win a Jeep if your number is pulled. The proceeds go to help the Ag Society put on great events like this one. If you're just tuning in online, ladies and gentlemen, my honor to introduce you to our panel of judges, Mr. Barry Hall, Mr. Craig Fluelling, Mr. Darren Ippolito.
Laredo 5130N. So we will see them in our Red Angus Championship class in just a class's time. Thank you as well to entry 137 Riverside Angus Red Riverside Marta joining us in this class as well. Of Red Angus heifer calves. First in is entry 132, Red Rich Farms with Red Rich Firefly 160N. Heifer calf was born January 17th. Next in is entry 133, Pyro Red Angus with Red Pyro Melty 580N, from born on January 18th. Next in, another entry from Red Rich Farms, entry 134, Red Rich First Lady 335N, born on January 16th. Next in is entry 135, Terron Farms with Red Terron Renee 443N, born on January 16th. And finally, entry 136, Pyro Red Angus with Red Pyro Brandina 517N, born on January 14th. So you got heifer calves from January 17th to January 14th, and this is your second split of Red Angus heifer calves.
Tommy advancing on to our championship will be entry 135, Terron Farms with red Terron Renee, and entry 136, Pyro Red Angus with red Pyro Brandina.
Yes, so congratulations to Terron Farms and Pyro Red Angus. We'd also like to thank Red Rich Farms with entry 132, Red Rich Firefly 160N, Pyro Red Angus with entry 133, Red Pyro Melty 580N, entry 134, Red Rich Farms with Red Rich First Lady 335N for joining us in our second class of Red Angus Heifer Calves. But I believe it is now time for our champion, Red Angus Heifer class.
With that, we welcome back from Class 1, entry 129 from Red Rich Farms. Here is Red Rich First Lady 301N. Followed by entry 130 from Harvey Crest Cattle Company and Gentry Harvey. Red, Harvey Crest, Miss Fredo, 5130N. Back from Class 2, entry 135 from Terron Farms, Red Terron Renee, 43N. And entry 136 from Pyro Red Angus, Red Pyro Brandita, 517N. With that, Judge Barry Hall is going to rip out and slap our champion. Angus with Red Pyro Brandina, our champion Red Angus heifer, and $1,000 richer. A little note here, Thomas. Of all the sponsors of this show, Pyro Red Angus was the first one to come through $500. Terron Farms, not to be outdone, says, we will throw $500. Miller Wilson Angus comes on board. Greenwood Cattle comes on board. $500, $500. Alberta Realty comes on board. And finally, the Alberta Angus Association. But Pyro was here first, and now they've won it. Congratulations.
So we'll just take a short break, and then we will be back for our biggest division of the day, the Simmental division.
You guys ready to have a Simmental show? T-minus 2 minutes and the Simmies kick off. Tommy, you ready to look at some Simmentals? Well, from Class 1, here's entry 138, Hidden Gem Livestock with Hidden Gem Nora. Guys, these heifers range in age from February 3rd, and they're going to go all the way up to January 22nd in this class. Entry 180 from Double F Farms, LFE BS Sunshine. From Harvey Crest Cattle Co. and Chick Harvey, entry 139, Harvey Crest Sharky 5119. From Ty D Livestock, Ty D's Reloaded Elegance, entry 140. Entry 175 from Westbrook Ventures, WBC Emmy 36N. Entry 141 from Double RN Ranching, R&R Darlin, 40N, and rounding up our class, entry 142, Z-Bar Farms with Bar Sliding Style, 5007N. Tommy, this show, sponsored by the Alberta Simmental Association, came through with $1,000, and originally that was going to be it. Ultra Livestock heard that, said, nuh-uh. Came through with $1,000 of their own, so each champion in the Simmentals will go home $1,000 richer. So those are our tremendous show sponsors, breed show sponsors, I should say. But Thomas, it takes more than that, and we also want to thank WES Enterprises, Heartland Feedlot Services, Bella Spur Creative, taking care of all our picturing today, North Star Truckin', Bagshaw Electric. We got DLMS on the horn, broadcasting us live across the world. Carter Wood and the gang today. Jay Morandi Livestock and Mark Angus, and that's incredible. He's all the way from Ontario. He's helping us out, supporting our show. What a guy. Mr. Lynn Combus, local legend, and Gordon Jackson. How about that? The Associates Bull Sale comes through again, as does OBI, T-Bar C, Alta Genetics, Transcon Livestock, and Bow Valley Genetics. Thank you all immensely. This is year 5, and honestly, pretty much everybody here has been since day one. So couldn't have done it without them. And the show continues to grow and reach further and farther because of them. All right, Tommy, that has been a tough class. It took a little longer, but advancing on, entry 140, Ty D Livestock with Ty D's Reloaded Elegance, and entry 175 from Westbrook Ventures, looking to repeat in the semis with WBC Emmy 36N. Class number 2, here's entry 143 from Walgren Farms, WF Darlin 288N. These heifers range in age from January 21st to January 16th. Following Walgren Farms, entry 144 from 7T7 Simmentals, STS Miss Emmy 106N. Entry 145 from Twin Springs Farm Limited, Twin Springs Darlin 20N. Entry 146 from Rancier Farms, RF Scream 5117N, January 20th heifer. And entry 147, Double RN Ranching with R&R Sheila 23N, completing our second Simmental heifer class. Moving on, entry 143 from Walgren Farms in WF Darlin, as well as entry 146, Rancier Farms with RF Scream 5117. Rolling on, here comes Simmental Heifer Class number 3 in your programs. Entry 149, Gilchrist Genetics with GG Nashville 21N. These heifers, Tom, range in January 10th to January 6th, so relatively close in age. Followed by entry 150 from Rosilvia Cattle Co., Sholigan Cattle, and Chatsworth Land and Cattle. Here is Miss Rosilvia Chat SC Dream 41N. Third in, entry 151 from Anchor D. Simmentals, TM Ladies Cherry Bomb 825N. Entry 152 is a healthy scratch. Entry 153 from Mater Ranches, Mater Rose 71N, January 7th. And entry 154 from Z-Bar Farms, Z-Bar Ruby 5001N. If you're following along at home, the Blue Jays and the Mariners are up 1 to the Blue Jays, nothing. We continue to watch. Top of the fourth. Good save. Carter, what are the people saying online? What is the feedback from the internet?
They love it.
They love it.
Yeah, no, it's.
They're tuning in from.
The best DLMS broadcast they've ever seen.
Are you serious? The best DLMS broadcast they've ever seen. Wow.
Yes, thank you to Carlin for doing a great job on DLMS right now. She's been fantastic. Woody's been helping, I guess, but, you know, whatever.
What?
Tell them
About what?
about dinner.
No. Like,
Advancing on, entry 150, Rasilvia Cattle Co., Sholigan Cattle and Chatsworth Land and Cattle with Miss Rasilvia Chat SC Dream. In addition to entry 153 from Mater Ranches, Mater Rose 71N. And Simmental Heifer Class number 4, entry 181 from Double F Farms. Here is LFS BS Mary 15N. These heifers all within 2 days of each other, January 4th to January 2nd. Entry 155 from Maxwell Simmentals, NUG Sammy 515N. Entry 156 from Rancier Farms, Rockingham Livestock and Canadian Donors. Here is RFRML CD Linda 555N. Entry 157 from Martin Cattle Services, Martin's Freya 501N. Entry 158 from Green Valley Ranch, GVR Magical 9N. And rounding up our class, entry 159 from Ty D Livestock, Ty D's High Caliber Elegance.
Only 2 days of difference here in this class, January 4th to January 2nd here in our 4th class, the Simmental Heifers.
Moving on to our championship class will be entry 155 from Maxwell Simmentals with NUG Sammy, and entry 157 from Martin Cattle Services with Martin's Freya.
Congratulations to Maxwell Simmentals and Martin Cattle Services on advancing into our championship class. We'd also like to thank Double F Farms with LV
BS Mary 15N, entry 156 Rancier Farms, Rockingham Livestock, Canadian donors. We'd also like to thank entry 158 Green Valley Ranch with GVR Magical 9N, and finally entry 159 Ty D Livestock with Ty D's High Caliber Elegance. Bunch of great Simmental heifer calves in our 4th class here today.
We're rolling on, Tommy, to Simmental Heifer Class 5. Welcoming to the ring, entry 160 from 77 Simmentals. Here is STS Miss Darlin 86N. The oldest heifers in this show, all January 2nds and January 1sts. Entry 161 from Rancier Farms, RF Beauty 534N. Entry 162 from Black Gold and Anchor D Ranch, Black Gold Miss Jessica 8N. Entry 163 from Resilvia Cattle Co., Chatsworth Land and Cattle, Miss Resilvia Chatflirt 1N. And entry 164 from Maxwell Simmentals, NUG Miss 501N. Ladies and gentlemen, your final Simmental heifer class.
Ty probably mentioned it, but here in our 5th and final Simmental class, we're real tight on ages here. We've got January 2nd to January 1st here in our final class of Simmental heifers.
Moving on will be entry 161 from Rancier Farms, RF Beauty 534N, and entry 162 from Black Gold and Anchor D Ranch, Black Gold Miss Jessica. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our champion class set. Don't go anywhere. With that, we welcome back from class number 1. Here is entry 140 from Ty D Livestock with Ty D's Reloaded Elegance. And entry 175 from Westbrook Ventures, WBC Emmy 36N. Back from Class 2, entry 143, Walgren Farms with WF Darlin 288N. Here is entry 146 from Rancier Farms, RF Scream 5117N. From class number 3, entry 150 from Resilvia Cattle Co., Sholigan Cattle and Chatsworth Land and Cattle, Miss Resilvia Chat, SC Dream 41N. As well as entry 153 from Mater Ranches with Mater Rose 71N. From class 4, here is entry 155, Maxwell Simmentals with NUG Sammy 515N. And entry 157, Martin Cattle Services with Martin's Freya 501N. From class 5, entry 161 from Rancier Farms, RF Beauty 534N. And lastly but not least, entry 162 from Black Gold and Anchor D Ranch, Black Gold Miss Jessica 8N. Ladies and gentlemen, vying for a $1,000 prize courtesy of the Alberta Simmental Association and Ultra Livestock. Here is your champion Simmental heifer class.
And one last time mention as well, this is your biggest championship class of the day. So big congratulations to all of our Simmental breeders for representing the breed so well today in our class. Alrighty, and we're now going to crown our Simmental champion. It's Judge Darren Ippolito.
Go big, Tommy.
Your grand champion Simmental heifer calf is entry 175, Westbrook Ventures with WCME 36F.
Westbrook Ventures with the repeat. Tommy taking home $2,000 between two breeds. Congratulations.
Yes, a big congratulations to Jordy and Luke, another
Great animal there. Congratulations as well to all of our other division winners, or pardon me, all of our other class advancers here. Great division here of the Simmental division.
A quick note here, guys, of our proud presenting partner, Heartland Marine and Motorsports. The Immortals Stock Show would not be possible without the incredible support of Heartland Marine and Motorsports, our major sponsor and a true champion of agriculture and community. Their dedication to backing local events and investing in rural Alberta shines through year after year. As you enjoy the action in the ring, remember to shop local and support those who have supported us. Heartland Marine and Motorsports offers an outstanding lineup of boats, side-by-sides, ATVs, and more. Everything you need for work, play, and life on the farm. When you're ready for your next adventure, stop by Heartland Marine and Motorsports just outside of Stettler and thank them for helping drive the success of the Immortals Stock Show. Tommy, we're going to get the ring cleaned up here, and then we're going to roll on to our Charlet heifer class. We are getting to the end of our program. Hope you guys got your dinner tickets. We are, I think, about sold out. You may get lucky if you go talk to Margie. Perhaps the odd one or two come available if a sponsor cannot make it, but no guarantees.
double whiskey, and then a double parallel. All right, thank you very much to our cleaning crew of the Jacobs and Wilson families. We'll ask you kindly to leave the ring afterwards. Again,
Thank you very much to our young juniors helping clean our ring.
Tommy, here comes the Righteous Whites, champion Charolais heifer class. Entry 165 from Murray Ranches, Murray's Design 162N. This heifer born February 18th. A second entry from Murray Ranches with Murray's Design 153N. February 15th birth date on her. Entry 167 from Rosella Cattle, RLEA Taboo 501N from January 26th. Entry 169 from KG Land and Cattle, KG Nora 130N, January 11th. And a second entry from KG Land and Cattle, but this time in conjunction with TF Cattle Co., KGWC NIA 92N, January 3rd. Vying for a $500 prize courtesy of the Alberta Charolais Association. Thomas Wildman, here is your champion Charolais heifer class.
Yes, a great class here at Charolais. Just
one minor update. I believe entry 166 is not going to be racing with us today. So just scratch entry 166 from your class today.
Tommy, I have to read what's on the page. I didn't get that note. My apologies. 2-0 because she won the juniors. Okay, not a scratch. She already advanced.
Darren Ippolito to the stand. Darren Ippolito.
Judge Darren Ippolito going to go out and mix it up with a ceremonial high kick to select our champion. Entry 165, Murray Ranches punches a second ticket to Supreme Saturday. Murray's Design 162, and congratulations. If you want to head back to the backdrop, we'll grab a quick photo before moving on to our All Other Breeds Championship class. Rolling into our all other breed championship class before we have dinner together. Welcome entry 171 from Double F Farms with Peachy, a March 3rd heifer. Competing against entry 172, Alta Cedar with Alta Cedar 100W Rita 1N from February 2nd. We're going to have one of our judges go slap our champion. Mr. Craig Fluelling. Entry 172 punches her ticket. Alta Cedar and Alta Cedar 100W Rita 1N. We will see you back here tomorrow, and thank you to Double F Farms and Peachy. Great showing. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our heifer show. Tommy, what time is dinner?
I believe dinner, according to my lovely ticket I have, thank you to the Immortals group, is at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, so appropriately 22 minutes ago.
So, as far as I know, I've been hearing whispers, I think supper, pardon me, is ready.
Supper is more or less ready, guys.
So make sure you take your ticket, start heading over to where the food is, because supper is ready for all of us, and let's have a great dinner together, great talking, and we will see you all tomorrow morning for the bowl show.
But the concession will be open, breakfast will be on, the coffee trailer is serving, hot and ready. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Ladies and gentlemen, for Thomas, I'm Ty. Good night.